The surgery was performed to clear blockage in a major neck artery and prevent a stroke. I'm Alex Witt. Now let's get you back to Tim Russert.
And we're back talking about the campaign, the race for the White House 2008. Chris Cillizza of the WashingtonPost.com is with us. Nora O'Donnell of NBC News. Chuck Todd, the political director for NBC News. The last time I had Todd and Cillizza together, I called them the dynamic duo, and I got this picture. Oh, no. There it is, right there. Huh? There they are, Batman and Robin. Right. And it's nice to be joined here at this table by Wonder Woman.
Yes, I love Wonder Woman. I love Wonder Woman.
Let's go to the Democrats. In 2006, here we are, the Democrats grabbed control of the Senate and the House, and Democrats all across the country said, change is here. The war is going to stop. The eavesdropping of the Bush administration is going to stop. And hedge funds will be reined in. Chuck Todd? Has there been change?
Yeah, none of that's happened. It's a huge problem for the Democratic Party right now is that they've got, and I've seen that the leaders are struggling with this, and you're starting to see the House leadership blame the Senate leadership. You know, oh, it's those, you know, that Senate can't get anything through. We're doing everything, and Nancy Pelosi says, we're doing everything we said we'd do if we took over the House. It's all the Senate's fault. And if only we can get 60 Senate seats, you almost wonder if that they're going to start to try to run as if they're in the minority again and pretend that, you know, well, geez, it's Republican obstruction and da-da-da-da-da. It's actually a campaign that the Republicans ran against the Democrats going into 02 and going into 04. So it is a message that you can win on. But right now, it's hurting them. I mean, that's why congressional job approval rating is, you know, in the teens in some of these polls. I think that was one of the only Fred Thompson gaffe. I think he did say it was 11%. It's not that low yet. Might get there. Maybe he's
one poll was 11%.
Yeah, he's going to get there. The premonition. So we'll see, but it's bad, and it's because there's no apparent change, and you know, whatever they want to do.
Well, it's interesting how John Edwards has seized on this argument, saying you can't just change the players, because if you just change one corporate-supported culture for another, you're not going to get any change in policy. You're just moving the chairs. People get money, Democrat, Republican, from the same sources, and you won't have any real change. Is that going to resonate, Nora?
It might resonate. I mean, rather than it being an anti-Republican year, it could end up being an anti-incumbent year, and some Democrats could get tossed out as well. The Democrats look like they're spinning their wheels up there on Capitol Hill. They're in control, and they promised change, as you said, and they've yet to deliver. That's why the only bill that they seem to have sort of gained some political traction on is what's called S-CHIP, but it has to deal with children's health insurance, and why now Move On, as well as all the unions, have gotten together a big multi-million-dollar ad buy to blast these Republicans in selective districts to try and get a veto-proof majority in the House to overturn the president. It's a great issue for Democrats because 72% of the American people agree, yes, we should have an expansion of children's health insurance. 62% of Republicans, even Republicans in the Senate, support and have a veto-proof majority. So that's an issue they can wield with a big stick over the Republicans. But I haven't seen it champion that much on the Hill.
But this issue of S-CHIP, expanding health care for children, has worked for the Democrats. They were able to box George W. Bush into a corner. 67 senators saying, Mr. President, you're wrong. The first bipartisan coalition I've seen in a long time in the Senate.
Right.
But it does not in any way suggest that the Democrats have been successful on the war, which is why they were elected to the majorities, according to people you talk to in the Democratic Party.
Just one quick S-chip point. You saw Mike Huckabee, who has been more so than any, I think, of the other Republican candidates, with the exception of Ron Paul, willing to criticize the Bush administration in really harsh terms, say this is a political loser, which I think is sort of saying what a lot of Republicans think at this point. The war, I think the problem with it on the Democratic side is, and it's with both sides in some ways, is the presidential race is so all-encompassing. You have these big figures, especially on the Democratic side, with Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. Throw John Edwards in there. None of them have pledged to have troops removed. They won't do it. Hillary Clinton in
2013, all troops.
Hillary Clinton in an interview with my paper, the Washington Post, specifically avoided a question about a timeline. And I think they take their cues in some ways from the presidential candidates. I think the presidential candidates don't know what to do. They know what the base wants. There's no question. The base would want everyone out of Iraq yesterday. But then they also, and I think Senator Clinton is especially cognizant of this, they know the general election awaits, and they know that people don't want to see a precipitous withdrawal that results in even more tragedy, even more loss of lives, sort of adding on to what already most people view as a bad